Hello and welcome to week number 16. That is right. We are 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks, from the end of the semester. Congratulations. Yay. Very good. Very well done. So, today I want to talk about what we've got on the syllabus here. So, as you can see, this is lecture number 15. It starts April 23rd, goes through April 26th. This week, Friday, the IMRAD is due. This is the hardest deadline for the class simply because if you want any feedback at all, it's going to be a real quick turnaround. All right, so please turn that in by Friday, at least something, so that I have something to grade for you, and I can put that into the grade book. Now, just because I give you a grade on the IMRAD after I start grading those this weekend does not mean that is the final grade. As with all assignments for the class, you can revise them for the portfolio. That's why I want to get you back some feedback as soon as possible. So please try to get that to me by Friday. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee that I will get that feedback back to you in time for you to do your portfolio for finals week. So you won't know whether or not you need to revise, and once you know, you won't have the time that you need. So please get that to me on Friday, the IMRAD report. The portfolio, we talked a little bit about it. So basically the portfolio is a collection of the documents that you've worked on, right? So you are creating websites to host these on Wix or WordPress. That's an easy process that we'll go over in the next couple of weeks. This is our last lecture, however, so there may be a supplemental video that will show you how to do those things, but essentially what you're doing is you're collecting your documents in a website, and you will be writing a reflection letter for the class in which you will discuss how during the class you have integrated your pre-existing knowledge with new ideas, right? Integrating knowledge and ideas. And then how you've learned about different genres for different audiences, purposes, and situations. All right? Those are the two things that I would like to see in that letter. Also, if you choose to revise any of the papers that you've turned in over the course of the semester, I need you to, in that letter, describe those changes that you've made. All right. So that's the basic introductions to the portfolio. There's also instructions on the syllabus if you just scroll up a little right here. Right. Oh, actually, it's not on there. Oh, there it is. Collection of your work in class designed to showcase your progress in the class. So essentially, it's showing, hey, look, Mom and Dad, look at what I did. Here's all the work we did in class. The student review of instruction is coming out. Some of you have already begun submitting some reviews of me, so that's been interesting to look at. But those should be coming in your email in the next couple of weeks, so watch out for those in your email and send the review off. Otherwise, they'll just keep emailing you. So that's the student review of instruction. Some teachers you will find will have those on paper in class, but as we're an online class, you'll be getting that electronically. So I want to give you some last inspiration for the IMRAD report. So some of you have been over the IMRAD cheat sheet, right? The abstracts, again, can vary in length. You should have already submitted me your abstract. This is what you're focusing on, though, the introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Yeah, so really take a look at these sections in your paper and make sure that you're hitting all of these bullet points, right? So there's an example paper right here, yeah, that covers exactly what to put in each section, right? But I also want to show you some formatting that I didn't have previously on the website. So this is a formatting document that I've been working from. So what you'll find is that I've outlined the paper. So I've got introduction, methods, results, discussion, right? I didn't write anything over the methods, results, and discussion because it's, basically gibberish here. But I wanted to show you a couple of things. So the first thing that I would do, right, is make sure this is Times New Roman 12 point. Remember, we want to use Times New Roman because it's a serifed font. So it's a font that has these little serifs and makes it easier for machines to read. Secondly, Times New Roman 12 point is just a standard standard font that you'll find for at least MLA format. Other formats may call for different fonts, but we're covering MLA because that's the one that I'm most familiar with, and it's just as an example. So this top part, the heading, right, that will be different if it's not an MLA paper. But on an MLA paper, this is pretty standard. You have your name, my name, the class number, and the date that you are turning it in or the date that you wrote it. Then you will have a title that is centered, right? If you want to have a colon title, you may do that. Title, subtitle, whatever you want to call it. Then you'll go directly into the introduction. Yeah. So I've used the lorem ipsum language. There's a generator, you can use that. But this often having this outline really helps me, especially in conjunction with the MRAD cheat sheet, because I know exactly I can even just copy and paste this into my introduction on here, and then I've got the instructions that I need right here where I'm writing my paper. So getting that squared away is a really great thing to do. Also, you'll see the works cited. I've given you a works cited formatting. This is again MLA, but these are correctly cited and correctly formatted citations that I've used actually in my own work. So a couple of things I want to show you how to do. First, your papers are double spaced, right? So this right now is single spaced. What I want to do is show you, okay, so go to layout, or actually, here's an easy way. If you just either right click or control click if you're on a Mac, you can get paragraph and then line spacing double. Okay. And that has double spaced, and you'll see that that's a page longer than it was before, right? So it's a very good thing to do. It also makes it easier for me to read, yeah, and that is part of the format. So make sure that your paper is double spaced. You do not have to double space the heading, and you do not need extra spaces between the title and the first subheader. Another thing that you'll see that is missing from this is page numbers. So for page numbers, you're going to insert page numbers, right? And this is top of the page on the right, okay? And that gives you a page number. You can then double click on that and click in here, right? And type your last name, space, and 1, and then you'll see that that's going to be the same on all the pages, right? So if you want to get it back out of the header, then just double click on the paper itself. That grays out. It's not going to be gray in the paper itself, but it will be gray on your screen to show you that that's part of the header, right? So that's a good way to do that. You'll find that you can also generate a table of contents using these, but we won't need a table of contents for these papers because they're relatively short. So, if you have final questions about your IMRAD papers, what I would like you to do after you turn these in, or even before you turn them in, is to email me a direct question. I'm not going to have the time to reread everybody's or to go back through the gradebook and look to see who has turned it in after the last deadline. So please, if you have a burning question and you really think that your grade will hinge upon this, please send that question to me via email, and I will get that taken care of. And generally, most of you, I think, have figured out that I respond pretty quickly to my emails, pretty much no matter what time it is. Yeah. So that's something that you can take advantage of because I always have my phone on me and I can't help it, right? So if you have any final questions on the IMRAD, please submit those to me by email, and we will get that taken care of. So I want to spend a little bit of time covering sort of the wrap up, since this is our last lecture, right? So I want to talk with you about what I hope you take away from this class. At the beginning, I showed you the video of Miyagi showing Daniel-san, right, what he had been training him to do, right? So there's this rule that I like to go by called the 20-200 rule, 20/200, right? I like to have you write 20 pages of original writing and read 200 pages of academic reading. Now, the reason I have you do this is it's shown that if you do this, right, you get better at writing. No matter what you're writing or what you're reading, if you read 20 pages, or if you write 20 pages of original writing and do 200 pages of reading, you get better at both, right? So that's the first thing that I want you to take away, is just getting better at reading and writing. That's what English classes are all about, and that's what I'm charged to do by your respective departments. So if you look at the goals up here, right, I promise to treat each of you with respect and dignity, promise to recognize your goodwill efforts with fair grading practices, and promise to be honest with you in all things. These are things that I hold dear, and they're the reason that I do a lot of the things that I do. And I hope that you have appreciated that it doesn't matter what the quality of your writing is sometimes, or whether you're exploring something new or learning how to write in your discipline. I meet people where they're at, because what I want you to do is get practice from where you are to where you're going to be at the end of class. I also want you to get, again, practice at writing specifically for your discipline. There are twofold reasons for this. One, your departments expect me to teach you how to write in your discipline. Yeah. And when the class is mixed discipline like this one is, we have to leave some things a little bit open, more open than I think a lot of you like, but open nonetheless. So in order to teach you discipline-specific writing, I have to leave the instructions that open in order to allow you to get better at your discipline's writing, right? And I think if we've paid attention to the Kagan book, we understand that each academic discipline has a different set of criteria for what they're looking for. They have different burdens of proof. They have different approaches to things. And so when I try to teach you discipline-specific writing, I'm not drilling down and saying, hey, this is the example of exactly what your discipline does. I expect you to be able to find out what your discipline does. Yeah? And I hope you don't think that that's me hiding behind something, right? Um, because I don't know how to teach the class another way than to say, seek out the things in your discipline uh, and write for me, and I will give you the feedback that I can, right? I'm an expert in writing, yeah? Not an expert in your discipline, yeah? So, um, the second reason that I do this discipline-specific writing and hope that you take away uh, the discipline-specific writing is because I hope that you will be using the degree that you're coming away from NDSU with. I hope that that will be your career. And if it's your career, then your voice is very important in that career. Yeah? Your voice is very important anyway, right? But specifically if you're training to do something, right? Whether it's to be a teacher in a classroom or to be an emergency management specialist or to uh, make a design for a new widget, whatever your discipline is, your voice, because you're trained, is very important, right? A lot of you are on Pell Grants or financial aid or loans, and that is North Dakota and the US investing in your future because they know that your voice and the way that you express yourself is important. I said at the beginning of class, you're all scholars. You're all the most educated people um, in the world, right? Just by getting your bachelor's degree, you will be among the most educated people in the world, especially getting it in the US, right? So, what you do with that and how you learn to communicate your expertise matters because you are going to be called upon to solve the problems of the world. And we got some problems coming up. Trust me. So I want you to know how to write and I want you to know how to speak to people in different disciplines. I want you to remember what Kagan has told you. Hold on to that book. It's a cheap book. The bookstore is going to give you $5 for it. You might as well keep it. And I want you to keep it because it will help you communicate with people from different fields. Yeah? So remember that your voice is important and remember that in learning to communicate, you are learning to uh, express your voice and express your expertise. Yeah, and that's why I want you to learn how to write better, and hopefully read a little better as well, right? Because I know you're doing a lot of reading. Yeah. So some people walk away from this class thinking that it's easy, that I'm an old softy, that maybe they didn't learn anything, right? So I've already told you about the 2200 rule. Um, that's something that a lot of people do passively and they don't understand that they're actually learning from it, but they are. And even if you don't know that now, I know that. But there's also such a broad scope to this class English 358, writing, the humanities, and social sciences. And I added in the natural sciences just for good fun, right? It's a really broad class, yeah? Probably one of the broadest classes on NDSU's campus. Yeah. So if I were to drill down and say, you will write in my expertise, we're going to do MLA, 15 pages article length, and you're going to write on English topics that I approve, I could do that. Nobody would bat an eye if I did that. But I don't do that because it's such a broad class. And I don't know what your advisors are telling you when you take this class. I hope they're saying this is going to be a broad scope. You're going to learn how to write in your discipline, and I hope that's what I shared with you. But because the scope is so broad, it's really difficult to drill down and to give you specific one-on-one advice for writing in your discipline. I've been available by email. You can always get a hold of me and say, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment, or I'd like to video chat with you, or whatever you need to do. But I'm available, right? And I want you to take the most you can from this class. Again, your personal voice is important. It might seem easy because I'm asking you to write in your personal voice, and I don't necessarily need you to adopt a super academic dialect in order to do that. Yeah. You can write in a little bit more of a relaxed fashion with me. And I will tell you that some of your writing perhaps could use a more academic tone. That's some feedback that I will give you, but that's feedback that you'll get from the academic writing community. But you're all brilliant, and I just want you to appear in the best light possible. Yeah. Because it makes you look good, and it makes you succeed, and keeps you going, and people will unfairly judge you for the way that you speak and the way that you write if you don't learn to appropriate that academic dialect in certain situations. There's also the nature of the online class, right? It may seem like this is an easy class because it's an online class and we're not meeting 3 times a week and we're not doing 50 minutes a session, right? If we look at the academic credit defined, right? 1 semester credit hour is 750 minutes of classroom or direct faculty instruction, 1,800 minutes out of class student work, over a 15-week semester, 50-minute period of direct instruction, and 2 hours out of class work each week, right? So that's a lot of work, right? But you do see down here, for hybrid and online classes which do not meet the faculty contact requirements, credit is awarded based on the equivalent face-to-face course or by assessing the amount of work required by the student. Okay, so if I assess based on the amount of work I required of you, right? Let's look at this. So your major assignments that are primary academic writing, remember I wanted to give you 20 pages of original writing to do. We'll take 15 right off the bat, right? These two are covering that 15 pages. If I give you one page for professional email, 1 page for scannable resume, 1 page for cover letter, 1 page for quote burgers, 1 page for abstract, you are at 21 pages. That's my goal, 20 pages, yeah? So that's sort of what is normal for a class, is to get that 20 pages of original writing. Kagan's a little bit longer than 200 pages, but I wager that not everybody read the whole book. If you did, great. You're going to get even better than those people who didn't, right? But this is backed up not just by the academic credit defined, right? But also I talked about Academically Adrift, right? This is a book, right, that teaches teachers how to teach. And I pulled a quote from it from an article. Recent large-scale study, they're talking about Academically Adrift, has found that the more often students take courses with at least 40 pages of reading a week and 20 pages of writing in a semester, the greater their gains on the collegiate learning assessment. So all things being equal, these are good minimums. Oh man, that sounds familiar, right? So these are things that I've thought about. I'm not being lazy. I'm not hiding behind giving you creativity, right? These are things that work, yeah? That have been proven to work. And even though it might seem like an easy class and it might seem like it's a little bit abnormal, right? I do this because I know it works. And if you'll just come along with me, right? If you'll come along, I can help you, right? You will get better at reading and writing by taking this class and by doing the things that I ask you to do in the class. Are you likely to fail the class if you put in your best effort? No. You will probably get an A if you put in your best effort. Will some people fail? Not unless they just don't turn in anything. Will some people get C's and B's? Yeah, some people will get C's and B's, but those people will have not turned in some things. Yeah. So basically, do the work, and you will get the grade that you want. It's all still there. You've got 3 weeks left, right? So get to it. Yeah. There's not much time left, right? Only 3 little weeks. But you can do it. I have faith. I'm not going to assign any writing prompts this week. I want you to focus on the MRAD. It's a short week anyway. Try to get me that MRAD by Friday. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you have complaints, please talk to me. Yeah. I am very, very, very willing to talk to anybody about a concern that they have, or to answer a question you have, or to debate the value of my teaching methods with you if that's what you want to do, right? I'm at your disposal. Yeah? So let me know if there's something that I can do for you. If you don't let me know, there's nothing I can do to help. Yeah? So that's all I've got for you this week. This will be, again, the last lecture of the class. I will get you more information if you need it. Otherwise, I look forward to reading your papers and your portfolios. All right. Thanks for being a great class for the most part, and for responding to things, and for coming along with me. Most of you have. And all 50 of you have been really great to have, whether or not you've enjoyed having me. Yeah. So we'll see you around maybe. All right. Good night.